Hey,
What's up?
what up, everybody? How you all doing? Welcome to another dirty episode of
Oh, the music stopped. Okay, the music stopped. Sorry.
of 3 Men in a Podcast. I'm Claudio Capri from Dirty Four, Offbeat Comedy, and yeah, that's it. And Louis C from the Agree to Disagree Show, and Angel Perella from the Ange TV Show. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get into not one but two hot topics tonight, if you're watching this on Facebook, head on over to the YouTube, press the subscribe button, so then we could afford a better sound system, so Louis can know when to stop dancing.
Exactly.
So,
and hit the notification bell.
Exactly. Hit the notification bell because we're doing this bi-weekly, but who knows? We might be doing this every week. So for now we're doing this bi-weekly. Just to get everyone in the chat, we have Raul. Hey, how are you? People, don't be shy. Join our conversations. We're gonna have a very, very fun night. So tonight is the 3 Men in a Podcast, episode 8. It's called Ange. What's the title called for tonight?
Misdirections and savings.
That's right. That's right. So, if you think that your past when you're in your young hoodlum ages were bad, one of us tonight surely has stories that we regret.
One of us almost lost our pants.
Exactly. Exactly. So,
Boy, dude, in preparing the show, we came up with some doozy stories. I could imagine tonight we're gonna let it all out, guys.
Exactly, we are. But here's the thing, though. So we're only gonna be doing this for like a short period of time, and then next episode we'll see how much we get covered, because you might do this part 2 for episode 9. So Louis, who is the wisest amongst all of us, Louis, why don't you start us off? So what do you think about saving and misdirection?
Okay, so here we go. When we discuss what we for the potential topic for tonight's show, we talked about. I came up with this idea of misdirection in life, man's decisions that he makes at a young age that could potentially have a impact long term on their life. And why we mention, why we call this episode Misdirection and Savings, is that if you go the wrong path as a young child, as a young boy, and the two are intertwined, right? If you make bad decisions and you go down the wrong path in terms of savings, it could have long-term consequences on one's life. So what I mean by that is, I'm sure we're all going to share our stories tonight. So
Yeah.
basically, what they said, I wish, I would have known back then what I know now. That's what basically this is what we're trying to do tonight. We're going to try to educate all the young men that are going to watch this live, that are going to watch this, afterwards on YouTube and on Facebook, to try to make right decisions from a financial aspect and a maturity aspect at a young age. And why? Because if you don't, when you're young, you think you're invincible, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying not to enjoy your life. God knows I enjoyed my youth, okay? But I have so many regrets of things that I didn't do because A, I was scared. 2, I didn't have the proper guidance in life. And 3, I didn't know the importance of those decisions that you make at such a young age, the impact that it could have for your future. Because when you're young, you're just living in the now. So what I'm saying is you have to find a way to live in the now, but also with the idea of thinking about the future.
Yeah.
And one thing is a very simple thing. Listen, I was telling Claudio and preparing for this show that I blew so much money as a youngster, started working 15, 16 years old, straight through 20 something years old, every penny, and we would make decent money, right? I blew everything, guys. I didn't save anything. I blew everything.
What did you blow your money on?
going
Hold
out.
on,
man.
hold on. We have to make him okay. So Ange, ask that question again, and Louis respond with without being embarrassed.
What did you blow your money on?
Okay, first of all, Ange, it wasn't drugs or sex, drugs, or rock and roll. It was
Yeah.
just literally going out and getting shit faced and getting drunk with my friends and having a great old time.
Yeah.
Now, I don't regret it, guys. I had the time of my fucking life. I enjoyed my youth. But when I look back, of literally all the money I spent in those clubs, sometimes 3, 4, 5
I know.
nights a week. Yeah. Okay. Um, I don't know, man. I question of where would I be today. So that's for me. That is my one regret. And then I'm gonna say other things. But so I'm gonna give you guys a chance to talk.
All right,
Um,
Ange. It's your turn.
So in terms of misdirections and savings, well, I can say the same thing that Luigi was saying. It's funny because when I got my first job, I literally saved every penny. I'm not
Mhm.
joking. Like, obviously, I didn't have any responsibilities at the time. I didn't pay for my phone. I didn't pay for my Opus. Everything, was paid. This, that. I didn't have any big responsibilities. So, I spent my money on food. One, that's more recently, but same thing: drinking, casino, outings, cards. So at the end of the day, though, like, what's done is done. Okay, you can't change the past, but you could certainly change the future. And there's got to be a day where you're gonna say, okay, today I'm gonna make a change. You understand? So
Yeah.
today I'm gonna budget myself. I'm not gonna buy an extra food on break or whatever. You know what I mean? Bad habits. When I was younger, like I said, I didn't realize that at a certain age, you're gonna have to have money to get your own place. You're gonna have to have money to pay for outings with yourself and your girlfriend. You're gonna you. There's never a time you don't need money. Your brother gets married, you need money. You have to get married, you need money to get a ring, right? Forget about the
That's right.
whole part. You gotta buy the ring too. You guys don't
That's right.
realize this. And then you have to get a kid. What do you think? So the government is going to pay you to take care of the kid? So at the end of the day, guys, all that money that Luigi was talking about before, like I said, he wouldn't have a mortgage right now if he would have put his money in the right place.
Possibly not.
It's sad to say, but it's the truth. And I thought I would have a lot more money at this point too. But I did have my fun, and like I said, I don't regret it because I lived my life. You know what I mean? I lived my 20s, and now it's time for a new chapter. So now it's time to get serious.
Yeah.
You're both absolutely right. But you see, when I was younger, okay, so I tried, like I want to impress this girl, and my problem was, right? So I was spending money on her because I'm like, hey, me, I think I'm gonna get laid over here.
Me.
Yeah, I know exactly. But then what happened was I didn't do any of that. So what happened was I spent money, to impress a girl. I'm like, oh man, maybe I'm gonna go to her place. I'm gonna ding dang doodle a little bit, but instead, what I got was a mental slap in the face, and because back then, like I wasn't. Look, I'll be honest with you. Back then, in my, I didn't have a job until I was 20, 21.
Wow.
And, I was thinking, okay, you know what? When I get older, I'm going to save. It was always about me saying, I'm going to get older. I'm going to save more money. But you know what? That wasn't the case. Like, so I was an idiot. The more I was getting older, I'm like, $20 in my savings account. Okay, but then as I was getting older, I was realizing, I'm like, you know what? It's time for me to save money. It's time for me to be serious. Single or not, that's that's irrelevant. But it's just for me, like as Angela said, it's a new chapter in my life. Well, like I want to do stand-up comedy, I want to do film, but that doesn't mean, I want to go out partying every single night and blowing like $1,000 on a Parasuco, alcohol, whatever you all drink these days. I can't even drink because I'm diabetic, but that's the thing, right? So here for me, and this is why I find savings and misdirection very important, because I bet you when we were all younger, we were telling ourselves, oh, you know what? I'm going to save when I get older. When I get older, I'm going to save. But it never occurred to what Andrew was saying, like he was saving his money. It never occurred to us saying, we got to start saving now. We got to start
Exactly.
planning for a few years.
Time
Because, you know,
flies.
yeah, exactly. Time flies, and we're like, you know, like Louis, right? Back in the day, we'd go to Le Select, which was used to be on the Metropolitan.
No, no,
By the way, that was a good club. Okay, you know what? That was a lot of older women, beautiful older women.
no, I didn't spend my money there. Let's put it that way.
I lost a few brain like I lost a few brain cells when I went there, but you know, and it was next to a butcher shop. But no, but that's the thing, right? Because when we're younger, like guys, like you know, what do we want to do? We want to go to an expensive dinner, dress nice clothes, pretend to be, you know, like in The
A
Sopranos,
big shot. John
big
Gotti.
shot to be like, bro, this thing's too, bro. Me, I got $300. Don't worry. Some people will put it on their father's credit card, and then the credit. And when Luigi would see this now, he'd be like, $400 on Bleu Nuit. Who did this? You know.
So here's the thing, okay? There is again we talked about this off air, is that there is no financial education in school. This should be being taught in school in terms of how to budget, how to save from a very young age. Now I've made it a point to for my kids to educate them properly, and I see that they're still young, 12 and 8, and I'm instilling these values in them that they want to save money already.
Okay.
So my point here is that if the schools are not doing it, guys, if you're parents of young kids, you have to do it. You have to do it. It's the most important thing, and it's honestly one of the best things that you could do for your kids, because you know what, the kid's brain is still developing at such a young age. All they see is the here and now. They're not going to think about, oh, I have to think about the future, even though when you think about it at a young age and you just instill this idea. When I tell my son, is that, Alessio, if you save now, okay, you're still gonna enjoy your youth, but think about all this money you're gonna have and how much easier it's gonna make your life when you're older. Trust me. And you see how the light goes on. Even though they're 12 years old, they're trying to process it in their mind. But now this stays with them. So this is what I'm telling parents, the importance of this. Because
But and you know what? They're heavily influenced, Luigi. They have a lot of friends that tell them to do a lot of things, and they do stuff, and they look at that. That's cool, you know, like that's you gotta stay present, you know, in your kid's life. You have to.
Exactly. But here's the thing, you know, to what you were saying, two things. Number one, the word is influence, right? Like let's like Louis, let's use your sons as an example, if you don't mind, right? So you know, if your sons are depending what kind of crowd they're, you know, they're going to be surrounded with. If they're going to be surrounded with a bunch of other little nerds playing Game Boys and, you know, telling each other that Pokemon's cool, that's cool. But if they're going to be older and they're going to hang around the type of guys like me, this weekend we're gonna go spack some girls, you know. Don't worry, I don't mean spack like, you know, but you know, like and then they're spending $1,000 on a fucking bottle of Grey Goose, you know, then you know, that's bad, because it's all depends on your upbringing, right? Like we're like from the looks of it, like we're really lucky because we're hanging out with friends who are not bad influencers on us, right?
But I love that's a great segue. I cannot put more of an emphasis on how bad decisions are influenced by choosing or having the wrong crowd and friends. Luckily, I grew up and I still have the same friends since I was a kid. And yes, we've made some bad decisions along the way for sure. But you know what? A lot of those decisions have been really good ones. And we were there to help each other out and to support each other. And now I see my boys, and the other one is, you know, Mateo's a little too young at 8, but at 12 years old, Alessio, I see that he makes good decisions. He has the capacity to say, this is a good kid. This is somebody that's going to have my back. He's got good morals. He respects me. He doesn't lie to me. He's a good friend. So already at that young age, that is the most important. If any young child has the capacity to choose, knows what's right or wrong for him in terms of what is going to be a good influence for him. You know, his best friend is such a good kid. He's a great kid. great kid. I know his family. I know his parents. We're friends, and he's such a good, caring kid. Always has his back. Never lies to him. They hardly fight, and when they do, it's over in a split second. That is the most important in terms of that's gonna basically build a path for you in terms of the decisions that you're gonna make, because I'm sure you guys have been in those situations, right? When you wanted to make that was a bad decision, and you did it because you felt that peer pressure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. And what you're saying is right as well. But I also, because I just want to go back a little bit, because you mentioned something
Mhm.
about school, right? So
Yes.
yeah, you're right. In school, we should have all been taught how to save money, like how to do taxes. Instead, what do? We fucking had an English class. Yeah, well, the author wrote the drapes are blue because it represents the depression. No, it's fucking blue because the author's like, I don't know why I'm just picked blue. You know, and you know what? Especially for me, you want to know what's really sad? I didn't know what a comma was until I got to college. That's how bad I went to Laura McDonald.
So that I
Yeah, yeah. I went to like I didn't know, like I went to Laura McDonald and I went to college. I'm like, oh my god, there's like more people than Italians here. Wow. I really didn't sound that yet, but that's the thing. Like back in school, like we're taught like, okay, you better read 5 chapters for next week or else you're gonna fail the grade, and that's the thing, right? But even when I remember home economics. I almost burned down the class because I lit a quesadilla on
but
fire.
Claudio, but how important is that class? And they took it out. How
They,
important is
oh,
home economics?
they took it out. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, all I remember is like a kid was being bullied and just grabbed the desk and slammed it on the floor. That's all I remember for that class.
Home ec?
But yeah, home economics.
Okay, well,
yeah.
guess what? I didn't have home ec, and guess what? I don't know how to cook.
Oh God, me
So,
neither.
you know what
I mean, I sort of don't know. I mean, I know how to cook, but here's the thing, right? Like in school, like college and university, I understand because you're making your own path. But it's all with high school. High school is where not only do you get wedgies, not only do you get these awkward boners and you start smelling
What
funny
school
because
did you go to?
because hold on, because your body's developing, right? But I'm saying, like, high school is for kids to learn, because your high school is between you being a kid to transforming yourself into being an adult. So that's where it's important. But if they took that out, I'm like, man, that's sad. That's what I wanted to like where I want to go with this. But again, it's schooling can also be a misdirection too, right?
Yeah,
So
I agree.
So I mean, yeah.
What I never understood is that there's been cases made. Listen, I've been in finance and banking for pretty much all my adult career, and there's been cases made by various levels of government and all that to try to, even the heads of banks, to get some sort of financial literacy courses in high school.
Yeah.
Something very simple, guys, because you know how long away could it go to have a course? Look how simple this is, guys. How to book, the importance of opening up a bank account, the importance of making a small budget, the importance of maintaining and starting good credit from a very young age.
Yeah.
Just those 3, guys, those 3 simple points. Imagine how much easier your start as an adult life would be.
Yeah,
Think about it, guys.
Yeah,
Think
they
about
care
it.
more about drama class than that.
Yeah,
You know what
no,
I mean?
exactly.
Like, seriously.
Yeah, no,
And fine
We're
art.
better fit to be clowns than
yeah.
And fine arts. Like, I give a fuck if my kid could fucking paint, guys. Seriously.
Oh man, say what you want about fine arts class. I remember I had to make a clay hand. It took me fucking 10 tries. It was really hard, but at the same time, I understand where you're coming. I understand what you're saying, but again, like even when I was younger, like my friends of mine were telling me, bro, this is a useless class. We should be learning how to make it as a bull.
So you're saying at a young age, at a young age that you realize this.
Yes, I was
Imagine.
14 years old with awkward boners, smelling funny. And
But
I'm
first
like,
of all, I wish I had a time machine because I wanted to go back to high school with you, man. You had some fucked up high school years, bro.
oh man, I got bullied. Actually,
Really,
what?
Claudia? You got
Yeah,
bullied?
I got bullied. I got bullied,
Ooh,
and
I think
then
that's an episode in itself.
Because
Eh?
I know some
yeah.
of your friends got bullied, but I don't know. I didn't know you got bullied.
Yeah, no, I got bullied, but then, long story short is I grabbed like was one of the last. I think it was either sec 3 to 5, right?
Yeah.
So the bully was bullying me, and then I just grabbed him, and tossed him into a wall, and
Bravo.
but
Good
anyways,
for
but
you.
yeah,
So
but yeah,
what
but
kind
then,
of stuff are they doing to bully you?
like just like trying to start fights, and
Eh,
I
Yeah,
John
but it
Wick them.
was, but you know what? It was back. It was different back then.
Yeah, exactly,
Because
exactly.
as long as you stood up for yourself, even though you got a beating, they would stop.
Well, yeah, that's
That's the difference.
but yeah, that's for another episode. But
Yeah.
here's the thing, like going back to what you guys were saying about fine arts and drama, like the teacher's like you gotta paint. I'm like, yo, when the fuck am I gonna learn that? Like, I'm not painting a house. Why am I painting Jacques Cousteau? Making love to a shark. Like, why am I painting this?
Okay,
You
Van
know,
Gogh.
but that's the thing. Like we had useless, except for history. History was good. Physical science, you had to learn a bit of science.
mhm.
But apart from that, everything else was just like like English,
Listen,
just like.
I
Career
agree.
choice.
Oh man, career choice was the best. Yo, before we continue, I remember for career choice.
What the fuck is career choice?
Oh man, Ange,
It was
explain
the
this.
stupidest
Please.
class ever.
I'm
Basically,
older
we're
than
talking about what you want to become. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
I want to
exactly.
become a fireman. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, exactly. There was this one class we're going around, and then I remember there's this beautiful blonde teacher. I forgot her name. Okay, so throughout the whole year, we're just saying. So if you want to, I swear to God, we had this. If you want to make a career choice, you got to start learning what a career is. And I'm like, okay. And then she goes, careers are very important for your career. But who the fuck wrote this book?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna have a career, but yet you haven't even taught me how to open up a fucking bank account.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
exactly.
Come on, man.
My dad, no,
You see the
like,
disconnect?
exactly. Like my dad's like, hey, yo, son, you're gonna need the money. Yeah, we open your bank. I'm like, pal, what's a bank account? He goes, the money that I have under the mattress, yeah, it's in the bank. I'm like, okay, that's good to know. But no, thank God he did that. Oh, by the way, David Vigliotti from Fatal Switch. What's going on here, Dave? We're talking about savings and misdirections in the good old Laurier days.
Yeah.
So-
That's sad.
So here's the good old days. So I wanted to discuss another in regards to this. Okay, so once again for all those youngsters watching, guys, the three of us, you're gonna answer my question.
Okay.
What did you spend as a young? I'm gonna say young adult, pre-20s. Okay, spending in the wrong places. There are so many things I spent money on pre-20s that I so regret. So regret. Here's the thing. My son says, "Oh, when I turn 16, I want a car." So you're not getting a car. You're gonna take a fucking bus.
Hey,
Because-
you know what?
no.
Yeah, that's good.
But it's the truth because just the car and the expenses along with it, especially if your parents are not paying it, obviously,
Mhm.
will ruin you and will ruin
course.
you for long term.
Yeah.
I remember I had a friend of mine that got an inheritance from an aunt or something,
Yeah.
and at 16, 17, and goes and buy a brand new car. I'm like, what the fuck are you
Are you
doing?
kidding me?
No,
Yeah.
you don't know, man.
No,
Look,
but my point here is, guys. My point here. Sorry, I just saw strip clubs.
Yeah, that's true.
That
David,
too. My
to this
friend.
day, I mean, before COVID, David go. I mean, I'm not gonna say.
So
anything.
David was a fiend or what?
Well,
David spends a
sorry,
lot of money.
it's David. His name is that it?
Yeah.
David. Well, it depends. Strip clubs. Actually, I was never a fan of strip clubs. I'll be honest with you. Not just because. Anyway, my wife's not watching, but that's another story. But no, honestly, I was never a fan of strip clubs. My friends.
You know what it
liked them.
is, Luigi? It's a tease at the end of the day. So it's like,
Yeah, of course it is. Of
I
course it's
never.
horny men go to a strip club. They see tits. They're $10. I mean, what a good. But I know I'm not gonna get laid that night, so I go
Yeah.
home and I.
So-
But anyways,
yeah, we're getting off track, but see, here's the thing, okay? Had I, and I bought my first car too, had I taken that money
mhm.
X amount of years ago, or my friend had taken that $20,000-$30,000, invested in the most conservative fucking thing, 25 at 30 years old, could you imagine what that money would be worth, guys?
Yeah,
I don't
for
know.
sure, for sure. But here's the thing, like young kids, like they like to show off their cars. Go, me, look what I got, bro. You didn't like. I remember when I was when I went to Guzo. That was my Friday and Saturday night. I think I went with Dave and some other friends. We
Uh,
went to Guzo. But I remember like I would hear stories of these kids like our age, like in 16, 17. They're like, bro, me, look what I got, my bro. You didn't get anything. It was your spoiled. It was your parents. Like they got you this BMW. For me, I had a BMW. It's called Bus, Metro, and
Metro
Walk.
and walk.
But yeah, and to this day, like I have my license, but I don't have a car. But no, that's what it is. Like young people like to spend money because they think like, oh, if I spend this, I'm gonna be cool. It's all about looking cool. They don't think about the future.
But it
You
comes
know?
down. I know, Claudio, but that's when the parent steps in. Here is what happens with me. Pa, yeah, I'm 16. I'm getting my license. Okay, congratulations, Lou. Pa, buy me a car, or I'm gonna buy my own car with my own money. No, I'm not buying you a car. You're not buying a car. However, you want a car? You could borrow mine whenever you want, Luigi. But you're not buying a car. I don't give a shit if you're 16, 17, 18. You're not buying a car because you're stupid if you do.
Yeah.
When my point here is it's a parent's, once again, it all comes down, yes, there's misdirections, but misdirections could come from parents. And don't be that stupid parent that feels guilty for not having enough time for the children. Okay, number one. Number two, don't be that stupid parent that has to keep up with the Joneses because you're not doing anything for your kids. All right, so this misdirection applies for parents as well. Trust me, we've all seen it. These two things that I'm seeing, you're not helping your child, guys. On the contrary, you're setting them up for failure and for further disappointment when they got older, and they're never going to grow up. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll never forget what my dad said. Like, no, I'm not allowing you to buy a car. I'm not buying you a car. But you need a car? You could borrow mine whenever the hell you want. Point final. End of discussion.
Exactly. Exactly. No, you're right. You're absolutely right about that, man. But I
So
don't want to. Oh, no, go ahead.
no,
Louis.
but so I'm gonna ask. So I ask you guys.
Yeah.
Could you recall something when you look back now? Something you spent money on. I'm not talking about going out or whatever. It was something that you spent money on that could have potentially made a huge difference for you had you invested that money and made a big difference for you when you were older.
Ange, go ahead.
Sorry, what was your question?
I'm saying, do you remember spending something pre-20s on an amount that had you invested that money over the long term, 10, 15 years down the line, would have made a pretty good difference in your life?
Well, I mean, to be honest, pre-20s, I didn't really blow that much money. I was always like, I started to work late at 19 years old, so I didn't really have a lot of money to blow. You know what I mean? But to me, it was the 20s. I would say from like 20, 21 till about, because like I said, 19, 20, when I just started working, I was the type, I was happy to see the number in the bank go up. I was counting thresholds, hey,
Good.
5,000,
Good.
6,000, 7,000, 10,000. Then everybody's telling me, yeah, but you never spend any money. Why do you do that? This, that. Eventually it gets to you, right? You say, you know what? I saved $30,000. Let me start spending a bit of money, right? And then it just goes downhill. So,
It does.
and then there's points where you say, okay, now I have to slow down. I have to save my money. And then it just goes, you get back into that rut. But like I said, it's hard because, like I said, we're talking today about bad habits too, right?
Yep.
So, and like I said, yes, a car does cost money. For those of you youngsters that want a car out there, it does cost a lot of money. There's insurance to pay. There's the registration to pay, the license to pay, the gas, maintenance, oil. If you get into an accident, your insurance goes up as well. Tire changes, your engine blows while you're done. There you go. Plus, you buy a car, guys. You buy it for $25,000. 5 years later, it could be worth half. You know what I mean? So it's like,
That's the number one mistake, guys. Look, I love what Alpha Storytime says. I am 28, still never owned a car. I got my condo at 24.
wow, good for
Because
him.
I started working at 15 and never bought anything crazy. Alpha Storytime, thank you so much. Coming from a mortgage specialist, that is unbelievable. There is a great example, guys. Okay. First of all, the purchase of a car at a young age, that's the number one mistake that I see and heard forever.
Yeah.
Claudio, how about you? Claudia, what about you?
Yeah, no. Where to
You're
start?
too embarrassed to say it, or what?
Okay, so a bit of everything.
Jesus, that bad?
So I mean, okay. First of all, I had the, exes, and I'd bring them on to expensive restaurants.
It's
And then
no.
yeah, I know, and
Casanova.
then
Yeah.
and then I'm like, hey guys, I got this, right? So that was my days. Like, yeah, I was an idiot. I paid a lot of money.
So we're talking about,
Uh,
like, what are we talking about here, Claudia? Like, what are we
Ribbon
talking
Reef,
about?
what?
Ribbon Reef,
okay,
Turkey,
okay,
Ribbon
okay,
Reef.
okay. With some of my exes, picture the keg four four times a month.
Man.
C'est
But
le
you
big
know what,
shot.
Claudio? I had the same thing. Like I said, I started dating around 22. From 22 to like 20, probably 26, 27.
Yeah.
I spent so much money on dates, dude. I could have bought a
Yeah.
house with the money I
Yeah,
spent.
yeah,
Probably.
exactly. I
You
could
know
have
what I
bought a
mean?
house.
So
Yeah,
that too, like.
yeah, I know. And then we went to the movies a lot because I don't work at the cinema yet, so we had to go to shitty Guzos. So
Be
it was.
careful, you might be watching.
I know. So we went to Guzo a lot, right, to watch movies, and then a bunch of things. It was adding up as well, So at one point, when I was single, I'm like, and then don't forget, like, and then I went through my single phases of like, oh man, guys, let's go out. Let's go out. Let's go to the keg. Let's go
For
to
sure.
strip clubs.
Pig.
But I wasn't the kind of guy like, hey guys, let's go to Stogan's and I'll buy a $3,000 bottle of Grey Goose. I wasn't that kind of guy. But I just went to strip clubs and
Steve would have loved that.
I know, I know he would. I know, but yeah, I know. See, I was in here. I was spending a lot of money, and I'm like, Minky, if I spend a lot of money, I'm gonna get laid. That was my motive.
So here's the thing, because I've always tried to, as a financial advisor, if you could call me that, I've always been in banking. How do you find the fine line between the two? Enjoying your youth, but yet saving money and thinking about the future and learning the importance of budgeting and maintaining a good credit. How do you find that fine line? That's what I find the most difficult, guys.
Yeah. Ange, do you want to go on this?
Oh, go ahead, Claudio. You go
Okay.
first.
So here's the thing, right? You gotta budget yourself, and you gotta tell yourself, "Hey, Melanie, how are you?" You gotta tell yourself, all right, I'm going to save, but once in a blue moon, I am going to go out. Once in a blue moon, I am going to treat myself going out. Now, if you have to buy clothes and shoes, then, and it's expensive, that you can't say anything about because, you need clothes and shoes, right?
Mm-hmm. Of course.
But if you're going to go out like for example, when things open up, right? I'm going to budget myself. Now that I'm a diabetic, I could budget myself saying, okay, you know what? In 3 weeks, I'm gonna go out with you guys. In 3 weeks, I'm gonna go out with Dave, or I'm gonna go out with I'm gonna meet up with Melanie and Emily. I'm gonna meet up with a few friends. You gotta budget yourself and you gotta time yourself.
Oh, well, they're more important than me and Ange. Is that it?
No, I'm saying I added you guys. You guys were the first.
Emily and Melanie are more important than us. Is that it?
Everybody's important. So I'm saying is, you gotta budget yourself. So let's say next week, Louis and Ange are gonna meet you right at Cafe Buongiorno. Then why? Because I'm going out for lunch, or dinner. And here's the thing, and that's it, right? Or I'm gonna meet up with Dave in a few weeks or months. It's about budgeting and timing yourself, right?
Yeah.
So when you work, you put like a few. Like this is what I do when I get my check. I put like $80 to $100 in my savings account. So I'm like, all right. So then I have the rest to buy what I need to buy. So that's it, and a lot of people were telling me scary stories about like how they're not, like, oh man, I blew my money. This, and I'm like, how did you blow your money? It goes to strippers and and bring. I'm like, dude, like I called them out. I'm like, well, you're an idiot.
No budgeting,
because
no budgeting.
no budgeting, So, but if you're gonna do, Minka, in a few weeks, I'm gonna go see Esmeralda down the street at the motel next to Milano's. Then you're planning. Okay, so La Tozza, she's $300. I'm gonna save $300.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna put that aside. So
I wanna butt in here and there.
Hold
But listen, guys, I wanna say, God, you okay? Luigi, you okay?
I didn't think we were going to budget for escorts.
By the way, never been with an escort. Never will.
Never.
Just getting that off the record.
I never been with one.
You didn't say it was.
Anyways, listen. What I wanted to say, guys, okay, us were saying, save all your pennies, which is right. You're supposed to put money every year. Like, if you're young, I say put $5,000 in your RSP. That's what I say until you get a house, right? Then when you have get enough money to put a down payment on the house and then leave it like that. And then you could, once you buy your house, you could keep putting money in your RSP just for your retirement, right? And then you save on your taxes. But anyways, that's not what I want to talk about. What I wanted to say is there's got to be a balance. Why is there got to be a balance? Because if you're like, let's say, Alpha Storytime or anybody that saved all, that didn't have a car, didn't have a girlfriend, didn't go out, didn't drink, whatever. At the end of the day, you can't relive those years, right?
No, I agree.
You cannot. Okay, so there's an opportunity cost to not living your life. Okay, and like I said, there's no offense to any. No. But listen, there's no offense to anybody. If you saved your money, you're a very smart person. But at the end of the day, you need balance because the odds are, if you didn't date anyone in your 20s, you're probably still single, right? So you may be in that place wherever you are, but you might have problems approaching women because you never took that on. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you need that balance, right? That's all I have to say. Basically,
right.
You don't want to. You could also regret not living your life, right? And if you didn't have a car, well, then you were in a hot bus sweating for God knows how long. You know what I mean? So you got to look at everything too, right?
Oh, absolutely.
That's why I asked the question because, but you're right, Ange. But the what I see is that so many youngsters have a difficulty of finding that balance. So
that's what it is, and I see it with my cousins. I see it with people my age, my age that still haven't worked yet. I'm not joking, guys.
Exactly.
Well, once again, Ange, but it comes down to parenting too, Ange.
Yeah.
Because I could tell you right now, I'm not gonna accept my son's not working at whatever. I don't care what they do. They're gonna do a job at 15, 16 years old. They're gonna go fucking work. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. But you're right. But here's the thing, again, like when I was younger, I knew people who didn't go out much. I was like, hey, bro, what are you doing? I'm staying home tonight. I'm like, why? It's Saturday night. Like, let's go to see a movie or something.
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm like, all right. But then, like even to this day, he still goes. I mean, before pandemic, he goes, guys, I can't come out with you on Saturday because I'm tired. But I'm like, bro, it's only Tuesday. Anyways, that's a long story. But here's the thing, right?
But you know what? I gotta say, Claudio, when you're in a relationship or you're married, there's no, are we going out tonight? There's yes, we are going out tonight because the odds are your wife's gonna want to do something. It's pretty much an automatic schedule. Saturday night, okay, we have to do something. So I find my life changed since I've been in a serious relationship.
For sure,
I'm not joking, guys. When you're single, you're calling different friends. Hey, are you free tonight? You free tonight? You free tonight? But when you're in a relationship, it's like that day you're gonna go see your girlfriend. You're gonna do something. So it changes your life completely. But that's all I have to say.
No, I agree with you, but also introduce them to alcohol. But hey, babe, here, want to drink a bottle of Jack? And then you go out, and then she stays home and gets trashed, and she sleeps on the couch. And then she goes, "Babe, you came home last night." No, what are you talking about? I came home at 10.
And then it ends up like my wife that can't even look at a bottle of Southern Comfort, let alone smell it. But that's another story for another day. But here's the thing. One last thing I wanted to touch. Okay, what I've realized, and another piece of advice that we're gonna give to, especially youngsters. When I say youngsters, in this case, I say you're still living at home. Maybe you could be in a relationship, but you have no kids and you have no
as far as you know,
no responsibilities. As far as you know, you might have a little Esmeraldo in Punta Cana, but that's another story. Right, Claudio? But you knocked me off my point here. Now here's the thing, guys. If you don't have any of those responsibilities, that is the time to take chances. When I say chances, guys,
Mhm.
what I mean by that is you want to start a small business, start it. You want to invest in some real estate, do it. Because if you don't, trust me, like I didn't, and I still today, 25 years later, regret it. Because had I done what I wanted to do, because I
Agreed,
didn't do it
Brian.
because I was scared, I'd probably be a millionaire today and I wouldn't be working. I could tell you that much. Because that's how long I've wanting to invest in real estate. And I started at 40 years old. Had I started 20 years prior to that, I'd be a multimillionaire today.
For sure, because of the
And much happier. And much happier.
Okay. No, I don't know about much happier. It's all relative, honestly, Claudio.
Yeah.
My point here is that I'd probably be retired today. Had
Yeah,
I,
guaranteed.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
guys, I went and see numerous properties at a young age, and I didn't do it, and I still regret it to today. That was the time when you have no kids, you have no responsibilities. If you're gonna lose money, that's the time to lose money.
Yeah. If Louis, if you don't mind me asking, at a
Yes.
young age, what? So, if I could understand this correctly for you,
Yeah.
not that it's going to change anything. What held you back?
Fear.
Okay, so basically, if I understand this correctly, fear of like, oh, it's not going to work out. Okay, no, I understand. No,
Yeah.
no, yeah, no. Even for me, like when I was younger, I was in Dawson College. I was 23. Dave, if you're still here, how old was I when I was in Dawson? Like what, 22, 20 years? I wanted to open up my own film company called Capri and Capri.
Yeah, right.
But then what
Imagine.
stopped me? Fear. What stopped me? I had a girlfriend. What stopped me? Me not having
Self-doubt.
yeah, self-doubt and me, yeah, exactly, confidence, right? So what happens is I let that go by, and then I was becoming a nobody, and that's love for my entertainment came in,
Mhm.
and that's where I'm like, then down the line I'm like, I've always wanted to try, do movies, but then I always wanted to do stand-up comedy, but self-doubt. Now I'm like, okay, you know what? Now it's time. A few years ago that I'm like, now it's time. Like if I started earlier, I would have been able to be at a level like Eric Johnson. Now, like I'm at a semi level, and then I co-run 2 awesome comedy shows and a few podcasts. But if I started all this earlier,
Yeah.
I couldn't make a name for myself. Now I sort of am. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is, even like when we're younger, yes, we have the capability of living at home. Yes, we live with our parents or parent, but it's that self-doubt. Because when we're younger, we just want to have fun. Like we don't look into the future, as you mentioned, right?
Yeah, but it goes beyond what you said, and I love what you said, Claudio.
Yeah.
It's the self-doubt, it's the other people. Don't let you guys, you have no, if you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, don't let they say the saying that you could be your worst enemy. Don't be your worst enemy, because that
Exactly.
is the time in your life when you could take that chance.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
learn from other people's mistakes. You're young. That's when you should make mistakes.
You're young
Do
and
them.
you're in your prime. Exactly.
You're young in your prime, and that's when you're going to make mistakes. That's when you have to make mistakes.
Exactly. But you know what? Again, kudos to everybody who like I love when people say, for me, age is a number. I love when people say that, and kudos to them, but again, if then as you get older, you might have some responsibilities coming at your way. You get married, and then the girl you thought that was your stone is going to become your heavy stone that you regret. Then complications come in. So somewhere down the line, like your hobbies or goals that you thought you could have done when you were younger, it's gonna be complicated, and I know a lot of people who still have self-doubt about it, like even their girlfriends or wives were saying like, babe, you should do this, and the guy's like, I'm like, okay, and then he's miserable, right? like
Yep.
like they don't do anything, like, and I mean anything. This is what pisses me off about this, is like when people are not motivated to do anything, you
Mhm.
know and I know I'm talking a lot here, but sorry, but it's just that I have like a few
Well,
things to get off my mind. Like that's the thing, right? Like when I tell people, like, oh, my hobby is to do stand-up comedy and doing podcasts. Eventually I want to make a name for myself, like, and they go, hi, yeah, okay, that's good. I'm like, what do you want to do? He goes, no, bro, me, I just, I get up, I shower, I take a shit, I take breakfast, I slap my wife in the face, and I go to work, and I come back home, and I watch TV, and I go to bed, and the same shit over again. I'm like, but
okay.
but do
Well,
you have, yeah, exactly. But do you have any hobbies? No, man. You know what, bro? I'm in my mid 30s now, bro. Hobbies are from when you were younger. Now you don't have hobbies. It's
well,
about work and making money.
that's just idiotic.
Exactly. And I'm like, ugh, man. And then this
It's
guy's
just
getting
idiotic.
fatter too. And now he's complaining that, even him, he thinks he has diabetes. And I'm like, well, bro, if you stop eating 5 plates of pasta, mate, for sure you're
Listen,
gonna.
the,
Yeah.
the the for me the bottom line is don't be afraid to take chances when you're young, guys, because that's the
Exactly.
time you got to do it. That's all I'm going to say
Exactly.
about that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
did you want to chime in on that or?
No, you know what, Luigi, you're absolutely right. Take the risks when you don't have any responsibility, you don't have kids, you don't have a family, you still live with your parents. Don't forget that, guys, you know? And
Exactly.
a lot of people are ashamed to live with their parents, but I mean, does other people's opinions really matter? You know what I mean?
No,
No,
Stay
no,
for as long as your parents will allow you to stay. That's what I could tell you. Because
exactly. And
it's
if
saving
you
money, right?
exactly,
absolutely.
exactly, because rent, as I mentioned last episode,
Oh,
I went to Costco and I saw a shed for $1,000. Like,
Yeah.
Minka, you know what? I'm gonna buy a shed now.
I can tell you right now that it's pretty damn expensive, my friend.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
It is,
for a
and
thousand bucks is like if you could find one. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So,
exactly. But and
it is,
yeah,
and if guys, if you're lucky enough to have parents that will allow you to stay at home and save your money until you could go out on your own, and that are allowing you to give you this beautiful gift, take it. There's no shame in that. I'm sorry.
exactly. Just before we go, Emily brought up a very important point. It's
Yes,
never too late, though. You have to do sacrifices when you're older, but you can take risks too.
absolutely,
Absolutely. Look,
absolutely.
look, in life, you take risks, right? That's what it is. If you don't take risks, then you know what? You can live in regret for the rest of your life. But if you do take risks and they don't work, like, hey, you know what? I tried it. Yes, economically, I've suffered, but I'm gonna get back
mhm,
on my feet. Like,
Well,
mhm.
listen, I have no shame in saying, I know I've told you this, Emily, by the way. Yes, I'm preaching this to do this, but trust me, I made two different life changing decisions when I was an adult with a baby. My first one turned out to be a fucking disaster, and my second one turned out to be the best thing I did in my life. So I did some took some chances. I was pretty stupid, but I believed in myself and I did it, and I learned a valuable lesson in life. So I
yeah.
totally agree with you, Emily.
And now you can
Um,
find Luigi on Blue and Me. That's his best decision he made in
yes,
his
yes, I'm gonna be
life.
on the remake of Emmanuel.
All right, all
Yeah.
right.
So
Okay.
um, let's wrap this up, guys. Thanks
Yeah,
so much.
yeah. Oh, and Emily,
Wow,
I went back to school. 4 kids, hard, but so grateful. Yeah, no, Emily, when you told me that story,
that's amazing.
my hat off to you. You're an
Woo.
amazing, and you used to do wrestling too. I hope you get back into wrestling, Emily, because from the stories you've been telling me, you're fantastic, and you're also a fantastic human being. Even to
Wow.
everybody here in the chat, Melanie, Emily, Raul, and some other people who are watching this. Even if you're gonna watch this after the live, you're all fantastic and amazing. So one more time, do we have? Do you guys want to wrap this up? Do you have any last
Yep.
words to say?
Go ahead,
Uh,
Luigi.
I was just gonna say, no, thank you, Emily. You've been a great supporter for us since the beginning. So you are truly nice and a sweetheart. And it takes you're the warrior. 4 kids going back to school. That's just
Uh,
that's impressive
I
to me.
wanted to go back with no kids and not married. Like, you know what I mean? So imagine.
Yeah, exactly,
Jesus, man,
exactly.
that's
Yeah.
amazing. Wow. women are just anyway. That's quite impressive. No, I was just gonna say. Just wrapping up, I'll be back. I took a little bit of time off because of work, but I'll be back tomorrow night with the Agree to Disagree show. And next week as well, I'm going to be having a guest with a good friend of mine, Sonia Rodi. She is a child behavioralist specialist. So that's going to be interesting. But tomorrow night, I have a lot to get off my chest. And when I say that, it's not good. But I have a lot of shit to get off my chest. So tune in tomorrow night, guys.
Yeah, there you go. Ange.
Guys, same thing. Tomorrow, actually, I'm having a financial advisor. So if you guys are looking to, it's a good segue with what we were talking about. But if you're looking to figure out how to freaking put money aside, make money and keep it, then watch the Ange TV show tomorrow at 8 o'clock, guys, with Andrew Cipolla, a licensed financial advisor. He can give you a thing or two about saving money, guys.
Nice, Ange. That's awesome. That's very good.
And for people watching this Sunday, we don't have any guests for the Dirty Four. It's just going to be us four, myself, Joy, Peter, and Victoria, because we're going to go back to the things were for a while, just talking amongst us four. And May 22nd, we have a very special guest. That's a Saturday. We have George Transisos from Just Us Papas.
Nice.
And he has a political podcast. I want to ask him, did Justin Trudeau give a hand job to one of the SNC Lavalin? Those are the burning questions I want to ask him. So keep a lookout for that. And folks, if you want to watch Ange and Louis on their own podcasts, there's links at the bottom here. So just click the link, subscribe if you didn't do it already. And there we go, because these two guys are amazing people, motivating people. And there we go. And we're going to be back here for episode 9 in 2 weeks. We're gonna have a new topic, or we're gonna keep part 2.
I think we're gonna have a new topic.
Exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, have yourselves a good night. Cross your fingers, because June everything's gonna be open up, hopefully, and and then you get to go socialize, and you get to see. Oh my God, I haven't seen you in a year. You get to do all the awkward hugs. So there we go.
Touch a little ass here and there. I took touch Claudio's balls and ass.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, that's been 3 Men in a Podcast. If you didn't watch this live, go ahead and watch it after. And also, please leave us a comment at the bottom, because it supports us very, very much. Again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have yourselves a good night, and later, everybody.
Take care, guys.
Good night, everyone.